Donnie, how are you this morning?
Good. How are we doing today?
Doing fantastic. Good to have you on the show. We appreciate you giving us some time here on a Saturday morning. I'm sure you'd like to be somewhere else enjoying your weekend off. I'm guessing you have a weekend off.
Oh, yeah, this weekend we're off. Things kind of get slow a little bit when it closer gets to Christmas and a lot of the teams shut down, like for the whole week, and that's kind of what we're planning on, but, we're getting things built up and getting ready for a new season, a new car. Yeah,
a little excitement going on this week. Kind of nice to see the new car on the track, and, of course, that's when you guys really have to put the hours in and get this thing ready to rock and roll come 2013. What have you found so far? What have you discovered in the few runs that you've been able to have?
Yeah, one thing we're kind of looking at, NASCAR is, trying to hone in on an aero package to start the season off. So for this test we had at Charlotte, they had several changes and several different ideas they wanted to try. And basically we went over and we took the Wheel Force car, which is a car that, can measure the aero loads and things like that. And we ran it for like a day and a half and just trying to collect data to, when NASCAR does hone in on a package, exactly how much downforce we'll be looking at or what the changes will be.
And then you guys have another very important test coming up at Daytona in January.
Yes, correct. I mean, I think that's one reason they wanted to do this early test at Charlotte, that, when we do go to Daytona or then we go to Charlotte the following week, they can pretty much have the aero package down the way they want to start the season off, and teams can concentrate on what it takes to make the car work.
Donnie, what is the general consensus? I mean, obviously, I know you talked to other crew chiefs. What are these other crew chiefs? What are they saying about this new car throughout the Sprint Cup garage as well as the drivers?
I think the biggest thing about these new cars is just the fan appeal, where a Ford looks like a Ford and a Chevy looks like a Chevy. I think that's the most exciting part about it. And I think that's why everybody, the teams and NASCAR are really focusing on hopefully starting this season off with, we can do things to make the racing better for the fans.
Why do you think they ever got away from that in the beginning?
I think it was a deal to try to have more parity where, one manufacturer couldn't gain a lot on the other manufacturer. But I think the process they went through for developing these cars where they had a goal of how much drag could be on the car and how much downforce you wanted on the car. I think, there was a long process in making this happen. And it's kind of made things a little bit slower on the backside, as far as us being able to get cars completed because of just having all the templates made and having all these things done. But NASCAR's really been working hard, and I think they really tried to put a lot of parity in it and also have a lot of brand identity, and I think that's going to be good for the fans and make for better racing.
That's one thing that honestly has always bothered me since we've gone to the COT is that the brand identity is kind of, it's all glued together. I mean, it's decals. And to see them make the move to, Ford's Ford, Chevy, Dodge would have been Dodge.
Toyota, yeah, right.
Toyota. It's really going to, I think it's going to do a lot for the sport and bring people back that little bend about the COT. Bring them back to the sport and sitting in the stands and watching on TV.
For sure. I mean, I think it's definitely because, you have a lot of fans out there that want to identify with the manufacturer that they support. Like, we have a lot of Ford fans and a lot of Chevy fans, and that's something that I think the sport has missed, over the last 6 or 8 years. And, that's something NASCAR took a hard look at and listened to a lot of the fans and want to bring back to our sport.
What about Penske Racing rejoining the Ford stables?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, for us, for the Ford camp. Anytime we can make the Ford camp stronger, and, Penske coming off a championship year, definitely that's a strong organization and has been for years. And, anything we can do to make the Ford camp stronger, I think it's better for all of us.
Looking at 2013 for Trevor Bayne and that car, the 21 car, limited schedule for 2013. Is that what we're still looking at?
Yeah, that's what we're still looking at. And one thing we try to focus on is, we don't want to be labeled as one of these guys as a starting park or whatever. When we come to the racetrack every week, we come there to try to win. That's our goal. So we take what money and resources we have and we focus it on a certain amount of tracks. And last year we were able to expand it a little bit with, with Camping World and Good Sam coming on. Of course, we have Motorcraft and Quick Lane again next year, Ford. And, we're looking to expand, but it's a deal to where, we want to make sure we're focused on when we show up at the racetrack, we've got the best product we can give the driver each week. And to do that, it takes a lot of money. And, so we just kind of focus on the tracks that we feel like that we can do the best at.
Donnie, you've been doing this a long time. Back in 1990, you were with Morgan Shepherd, and you've been with Jamie McMurray and been doing this a while. How do you get up and keep excited about the sport and that? I know because it's when we look at it from outside the circle, it's it looks electrifying, and it'd be awesome to be a crew chief and awesome to be a driver and this and that, whatever. But inside the circle, it's a job, and I've talked to other crew chiefs and that, and it's a daily grind, and it's a job, and a lot of hours and that away from home and everything. How do you keep yourself motivated and excited about what you do?
I mean, I think that's something that it's just something that's all I've ever done. It's always been a dream of mine to do that when I was a kid, and to be able to live it out for as long as I have, 30 years being involved in, and it's just something that it's in your blood. It gets in your blood. It's like a disease. The best way I put it is, you wake up every morning and you want to compete and you want to do the best you can at your job. And to do that, you got to surround yourself with good people. And that's something I've been very fortunate at over the years, that I've been able to be with a lot of good organizations and a lot of good people.
I like that. It's a disease, and you're not looking for the cure.
No, never have been, never will. I mean, it's just something that, it's something that, you have to have a liking to it to be able to do it, because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot away from your family. You travel a lot, but when it's something that you've done your whole life, I mean, for me to stop it like I have for the last couple of years and do a partial schedule to start with, it was a little hectic. I think my wife was looking for things for me to do the weekend I was home, because, you're not used to being home, so you kind of interrupt the things that's going on.
We talk about throughout the year and that at the chemistry between a crew chief and a driver, and it seems like those who have that incredible chemistry seem to do extremely well, and others, may struggle a little bit. And I know that's not the end all, but how important is that? And is there ever those times where you walk in, Glenn or Eddie Wood's office and say, "Why are you putting me with this bozo?" I don't, do you ever have those times? And how important is that chemistry?
No, I mean, I think it's very important, and, I haven't never had that. I've been very fortunate to have been able to work with a lot of good drivers over the years, and, one thing that I have had over the years a lot is a lot of young drivers, and being able to teach these guys and watch these guys go on and develop as not only good drivers, but, good men in the community, and it's just a special experience, but there is a bond. I mean, you have to have that communication. You have to be able to, foresee what the guy's talking about sometimes, when he's explaining what the car's doing. You got to kind of be on the same page with him, and that takes time. And, I think that's something that, we're developing with Trevor. We've basically had like 35 races with him over 2 years now. And, the thing you kind of get starstruck to start with when your second race together, you win the Daytona 500. So, I mean, that's something you got to, your goals you've already reached some of your goals there, and you kind of got to step back and look and say, we still got to keep developing, we still got to keep going on, and we got to keep getting better as a team.
I want to ask you about Trevor Bayne's character, because I'm actually glad that you brought up that Daytona 500 win, because the following week you guys went to Phoenix and he ended up wrecking, and he was on such the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, yet he seemed to deal with that so well. We all know that he's a high-character individual. Would you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a special young man, I mean, he's one of these guys that, keeps everything in check, I mean, the deal at Phoenix is one of those deals that you can't predict. It was a part failure, the first car in practice, and, it's the first run out, and you wreck after you just won the Daytona 500. So, everybody keeps it in check. Everybody's got to keep picking one another up when, get in situations like that. But, yeah, I mean, he's a special young man. He appeals to a lot of people out there and a lot of sponsors. And, the media was pulling on him a lot at the time for just winning the Daytona 500, but I think he handled it well. I think he did a really good job.
Well, very good, Donnie. We do appreciate you enlightening us on testing and that at Charlotte and coming on the show with us. It's an honor to have you on the show, and we look forward to seeing you when you get out west here, maybe down in Vegas or Phoenix or that. We'll come up and say hello to you.
All right, 10-4. Looking forward to it.